So I wasn't like gonna intend for this video to be a Moldavite review, if you will, but I do want to talk a little bit about Moldavite, just because not really starting my journey with crystals with Moldavite. I've been dabbling with crystals for the last year or so now. 2020, I think, really brought a lot of changes that kind of forced me as a person to go inward, and in that quest, I started experimenting with crystals and what they might be able to do as far as being used as a spiritual tool. So, I'm kind of learning as I go myself personally. My personal view on crystals is that I wouldn't go out and get a crystal, even Moldavite, thinking that this is going to be some magical stone that's going to be, like you're going to be like Thanos or something like that, and everything's going to come together for you because you got this magical stone. I believe in magic, but I believe that you don't need a stone necessarily to utilize your magic. What I do believe is that as you go on your spiritual journey, you learn that the macro consciousness, so the greater consciousness that we think of as God, that a lot of people are worshiping, you learn your actual connection to that is that it is a magnified version of self. And also much the same as there's a micro consciousness where, that same version of self also goes inward, and you have little tiny forces of consciousness that are doing their thing. They're doing their thing inside you. You are symbiotic with microorganisms and single-celled organisms and cells inside you. They all feel a little separate from you too. They all have their own consciousness as well. And sometimes the consciousness of your organisms and your bacteria are driving your consciousness. So when you think you crave something and you think that's you, sometimes it's the stuff that's going on inside of you that's needing you to eat X, Y, and Z so that microorganism can then multiply or do what its goal is as well. We're all trying to accomplish these goals. So when you think of a crystal, you think of something that has survived or endured some sort of cataclysmic event, or has endured the stands of time. You've got things like amber, which has come from a resin or a resin, or that has come from the trees, that has encompassed maybe a small life force like an insect or something, or has been underneath the water, and it's fossilized, and years later it has a story to tell. Much like a tree that's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years old. If you ever sit next to a tree and you put your hands on a tree, you can feel the energy of a tree because it's been around for so long. It has a story to tell. So these stones, they come across, or they've derived from these events, these cataclysmic events, or let's say cataclysmic, some of them are just, like I said, time. But you've got things like meteorites and asteroids that hit and give you your Moldavite. Just looking up the story behind how Moldavite is formed, it is those events and the energy and the consciousness that is evolved in those events, that it's all a part of you. When you get to your spiritual awakening, where you're really accepting that it's all one consciousness, it's not that you need any of this. You don't need a crystal, but you do realize that little bit of consciousness held within that story, that little bit of consciousness that's held within that life force, maybe that mosquito in that amber, or the stardust, or whatever that was involved in the meteorite, or whatever. It all has a little bit of a story to tell, and you can capture the remnants of that. You can capture the energy of that and utilize it. Your spirit, your energy can utilize it. So let me see if I can, if you're looking at my ceiling, see if I can show you my Moldavite real quick. I paid a little bit for my Moldavite. And then I wrapped it in copper. I wanted it to look like an eyeball. So see if I get it real close. And when it hits the light, you can see that it has like a nice glow. It's the real deal. So, and I've had it for about a week and a half, or excuse me, a month and a half, nearing 2 months now. I've gotten a job offer. I got a job offer the very next day after receiving my Moldavite. And so I'll be starting that job soon. But mostly what's happened since I've got it is that I've had just a really strong urge to just make moves in the realm that I have been trying to make moves in, or saying I was going to make moves in. It's just, ever since I've got the Moldavite, the opportunity to just remove blockage has been so strong. Things that I thought were barriers are just falling down and becoming non-barriers. So I'm convinced. I've got goals of becoming more physically healthy, more financially stable. Currently, I'm morbidly obese. I am having some minor health issues. Oh, my mole. But I think that's all going to change. I feel really, really good. I'm going to continue to work with crystals. I've got a list of crystals. My spirit is guiding me through this, by the way. My spirit has fully intervened and has kind of just been taking the wheel, so to speak, on this. And I'm just listening. It's another thing that happens more and more with this Moldavite. Like, I am like, yo, let me listen. Synchronicities, like I'm talking and what I'm talking about will happen on the TV, or the TV will interject as if it's part of my conversation or something like that. Synchronicities are happening all the time now that I've got this Moldavite. But I tell you, like, for example, next on my list is Palisade Peridot. My spirit's telling me I need that in conjunction with this Moldavite. Then I'm going to get some phenakite and some saffrodite. But I think that there's work I have to do. You know, honor your levels. Some people can wake up and become conscious in a wave. My friend called it an epiphany, where your consciousness just, and the things that you weren't able to let go of can just fall from your struggle like it was never a problem. But sometimes you need to do some work and kind of graduate to a next level of consciousness. And so I'm honoring that for myself. I'm not just going to run out and be like Thanos and like get all the stones and expect that I'm going to just rule the universe. But I do think that there's some work I need to do. And my spirit is telling me that actually phenakite and saffrodite might be like next level stones. So I'm starting with Moldavite, and we'll do some pairing with some other stones, and I'll know when I'm ready to move forward, as will you. You've watched this video for a reason. I'd like to thank you. I hope this is actually the first video I'm putting on my channel. Yay! But I hope you subscribe. I hope that this resonates with you, and I'd like to take you guys on a journey with me, and I hope that it's going to be awesome. Hopeity hope hope. Bye!